Welcome to our new podcast, a new episode of IBridge, Experiential Learning Talks. So welcome all. And we are here today with a colleague and a friend who is in Georgia at the moment. How's the weather in Georgia, Miss Tiko?
Oh, thank you for having me and inviting me to your podcast. The weather is it's pretty warm.
Really good. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Tiko Silagadze. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. It is an honor to represent the European School and the PYP department. So I have been teaching in the PYP at the European School for 8 years. I have taught every grade level within the PYP, and for the past 3 years, I have been teaching grade 5.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Tiko. Can we start, because you mentioned about PYP and so your focus on the PYP program. May I please ask you, how do you incorporate experiential learning into the PYP curriculum? And if you can include some specific example, tangible example, that will be helpful for our audience to make some links and even implement them in their own context.
Sure. So incorporating experiential learning into the PYP curriculum is essential for fostering deeper understanding and engagement among students. At the European School, all PYP teachers, we collaborate with the PYP coordinator to ensure that our units are built in such a way that student-centered learning and inquiry-based learning are prioritized at all times. Therefore, all the units encourage students to connect their learning to real-life experiences and lead them to different types of actions. When asking about examples, since I taught grade 5 this year, I can talk about the PYP exhibition, which is a great example of this. I can share that while working on their exhibition, grade 5 students chose different global issues to inquire into. They analyzed statistics and data, partnered with different authorities and organizations to better understand the issues and implement various actions to help raise awareness and also contribute to resolving these issues. Another way we incorporate experiential learning into the PYP curriculum is by organizing trips and just taking the students learning outside the classroom. So for every unit, we organize trips or invite guest speakers. For instance, when our students are learning about pollution and the importance of taking care of our planet, they go on trips where they participate in planting or harvesting, and then that way they link their learning to real-world agriculture. An example of our efforts is the Go Green campaign that our school organized this year. During this campaign, students collected plastic to recycle, and then some classes even initiated to collect paper for recycling. I believe that experiential learning can also happen, and we believe in the PYP and at the European School that with role playing and simulations. For example, I can bring in another example from grade 5 this year. We had a unit about government systems, and for their summative task, grade 5 students organized the PYP presidential elections. So we had candidates from each grade 5 elected by the students. They organized a campaign, they created slogans, logos, posters, participated in debates, and they elected, the whole PYP community elected the PYP president. And then this helped students understand the functioning of their local government, and as well, they understood the importance of civil engagement. And I would just want to highlight that, for example, for this project, the whole PYP community was involved, the whole school. And I believe that when we involve the entire PYP or school community, as well as the parents, in such projects, we foster experiential learning, and it becomes easier for teachers to fully engage students in their learning.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very, very interesting what you're doing in your own context. I'm curious to understand your point of view. As you know, we are living in a challenging time. Yes, and I'm really curious to understand in what way you are address the challenges the, that arise in the local context with something in mind, the IB philosophy, IB mission, IB vision. That so how do you balance both local context and the IB philosophy together during this challenging world?
Well, as a PYP teacher at the European School in Tbilisi, which is a CIS accredited IB school, I am dedicated to adopting our educational practices to modern challenges, of course, while maintaining fidelity to the IB philosophy. So over my 8 years at European school, I have witnessed the importance of balancing global education standards with the local context. So first, I want to highlight that our school provides professional development opportunities. So they bring workshop leaders to our school and also send teachers to workshops overseas. For instance, this year I attended a workshop in Dubai, and the workshop was about how to better incorporate science into our units. And this was a fantastic opportunity to share knowledge and experience with other PYP teachers, enhancing our approach to integrate science in a way that aligns with both the IB and the local educational needs. And also, in addition, we always incorporate elements of Georgian, let's say, culture, history, and geography into our units. And by doing so, students then connect their learning to their immediate environment.
It's easy to link from the local context to an international mindset, which is not required, but which enhance the students to become global
Yeah,
citizens.
of course, because then we develop, let's say, global skills for students, and they're, of course, internationally minded, while also making their learning more relevant. Because we not only incorporate these elements into our studies, but we invite local experts to enhance our units, and so that their learning is like they have hands-on experiences, and real-world context. And of course, the IB philosophy emphasizes inquiry-based learning, which is inherently adaptable, in my opinion. So it allows us to design units that allow students to explore issues relevant to their lives in Georgia or wherever they're living, while developing skills that are globally applicable. And so also in our school, we actively integrate technology into our curriculum, and that, I believe, prepares students for the digital age. And we use various digital tools for them to make research and connect to different global communities, and while addressing local challenges.
We are educators. We don't know what will happen in the next future. So, what do you think is the needed of the students in this, especially during this time of where we live? How can we prepare them for the future that we don't know and they don't know? Like for instance, we face the AI now that it was a boom a couple 1 year or a couple of years ago, and but we were not prepared the way that we managed. So think about that. All the IB philosophy, the IB mission, or think about us as educator. My question is how can we as educators
Okay.
we can prepare students for the next future?
I think we need to prepare students for a rapidly changing world, like you said, for example, where AI and climate change will play significant roles. And I think this involves just teaching them critical thinking, problem solving, adaptability, and resilience. And they should be equipped to understand and analyze issues from different and multiple perspectives, therefore, to develop holistic solutions to these challenges. And again, by strengthening and developing the learner profile attributes, I would say, and all the ATL skills that we have. So at the European School, we're committed to ensuring that our PYP students develop the attributes of the IB learner profile, such as being inquirers, communicators, and principled. Again, when it comes to AI, I know it's challenging to incorporate that into education, if that's what you're asking. And I think it's very important to have equitable access, because I'm sure that some students worldwide might not have the same access to the AI tools as others, and that can cause problems. But I think, again, if we deal with just strengthening their skills
Right.
and
Yes.
their learner profile attributes.
Yeah, and in terms of the learner profile, so how do you ensure that the students are learning or through the IB learner profile? So because the learner profile, the attributes are when created to develop the shape of every single student, so to nurture them, to enhance them for the future. How are we sure that the students are becoming inquirer, knowledgeable, or thinkers, or caring?
Well, our approach in the PYP is integrated into every aspect of our teaching and learning. And so we make sure that students continuously engage with and develop all attributes throughout the school year. We have a system where we encourage students to self-assess their development of the learner profile attributes regularly. And I think that this practice just fosters a habit of reflection, helping students become more self-aware and goal-oriented as they identify strategies to strengthen their attributes further. Inquiries, for example, you mentioned inquiries at the heart of our educational philosophy. So in our classrooms, we encourage students to ask questions and explore their interests. Since our lessons are student-centered, this allows the students and the units to flow based on student inquiries and passions. And we make sure that students know, and our students know, that they have a voice, choice, and ownership in their learning. And this empowers them to become more inquirers and inquire deeply into their education.
A question that maybe will be helpful for the audience or for the people that are listening, they're watching us. What will you advise for teachers who would like to explore to become PYP educators or even coordinators or even leaders in the next future? So what kind of tips you are able to share with them that would be beneficial for them?
I would advise them to be committed to continuous learning, collaboration, and reflection. And I think one of the most important steps in enhancing our practice is to commit to ongoing professional development. So I would advise the PYP educators in my region and maybe all educators who work in IB to attend workshops, conferences, training sessions, stay updated with the latest educational strategies, because these provide opportunities to share knowledge with other PYP teachers and gain new insights and practical strategies. They can also take advantage of online courses offered by the IB or just other educational organizations. And collaboration, I think, is great because when you collaborate with your peers, you share ideas, resources, and experiences, and that creates a very supportive community. Also, again, I would advise them, since inquiry-based learning is centered to the PYP philosophy, I would just advise everyone to encourage students to ask questions, to explore their interests, take ownership of their learning, and to design units that lesson around students' interest in questions, and to provide opportunities for students to lead their inquiry and present their findings in different ways.
Thank you. Is there any other thing that you would like to share with our audience, with the people who are watching us at the moment?
Well, I think I would just share that for PYP teachers who are just starting to be PYP teachers or are new to the IB, I would say that there is always room for improvement. Again, collaboration really helps. So I would advise them to collaborate with PYP teachers. I would also share that to take advantage of all the resources that IB offers on their website, to read books, read articles. There are a lot of simple units there, assessment tools. Again, in our school, we have self-assessment strategies that help us identify our areas of improvement, and it's okay. That's what I would like to tell them, because, for example, it really helps. We have peer observations, and a leadership team also observe our lessons. So the school director or PYP coordinator, head of PYP, and they give us really constructive and useful feedback, which helps us to improve. And I think I would tell them not to worry. If there's something that they need to work on, it's okay.
Oh, yes, it's really, really valuable. So, and yes, really good. Thank you. So, we are at the end of our podcast. So, and I would like to thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you very much, Ms. Tiko. Thank you very much for being with us today with IBridge Experiential Learning Talks. I hope you enjoyed the day. I hope you received some tips or some things that will move you ahead in your future career or make you think. And look forward to see you all to the next podcast. Cheers. Bye.